What it do, Wheel World? We are back at it again with another episode of Wheel Talks. I am your host, Marty O'Connor, alongside my boy,
Sonny Casebauer.
And we're so excited to be back. I mean, back at it, back looking fresh, as always. In the Zappos Adaptive,
Personal
head
jinx,
to toe.
personal jinx.
All right, pinch poke, you owe me a Coke. I can't pinch, so I guess I owe you it.
We'll figure out a way.
Okay.
Figure out a way.
Anyways, if you want to get fresh, you know where to go. Zappos Adaptive always has you covered.
Keeping us laced up.
Always. And today we're getting some very special stuff. I mean, this whole injury thing is a journey, you know? And, you know, not all injuries are the same. Not all disabilities are the same. Yep. But we came up with the 5 biggest things that contributed to our independence. And I'm excited to get into that with you. I know you've been through a lot, and you got a lot coming up. I mean, what have you been up to lately? I know you've been doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, I think what really, just to go back to what we're talking about today, what inspired us to do this was, we always said this, when we got hurt, there was no playbook.
Right.
There was no guidelines to getting off the sidelines written by Marty O'Connor and Sonny Casebauer. And so this is kind of why we want to do this, to kind of help newly injured people or somebody who's just struggling with their injury. Maybe something that we do can help your lifestyle. As for me, this week I'm freshly moving into my new casa.
Dude, I am so stoked for you.
I am.
Such a big step.
It's like mixed emotions. I feel like I'm that kid that's graduating high school and moving out of his house.
Yeah.
Like my parents are happy I'm leaving, but they're also sad.
Yeah.
You know, as we're moving stuff and my room's becoming more and more empty, you can kind of, there's that, you know, I'm not moving out of state, so I'll see them every day or, you know, at least once a week, but it's still that exciting feeling knowing that I'm finally gotten there, you know?
Well, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
You've been working at it for years now.
Yeah.
And, you know, and as we said, there isn't a playbook. No. We've had, you know, to put ourselves out there, rely on people that have been there before, you know, that have been there, done that, and just find our own way, you know, and because everyone's different, so you have to find your own way and find what works for you. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that have contributed, and I think number one thing that has contributed to our independence, for me especially, has been technology. Absolutely. It was huge for me when I went back to school. Yeah. It's been huge, and I mean, year over year, you know, technology is just growing. Yeah. And, you know, I think especially on the adaptive technology side, things like I feel like companies are becoming more inclusive and like building 100%. That into their business plans. And I mean, just with Alexa, Siri, Dragon Dictation, what's your experience with technologies?
Well, one of the greatest stories I've ever heard, it was you using a pointer to like peck out your essays back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Like when I heard that, like, I mean, that was just like one of the most greatest stories I've ever heard in my life. My experience with technology though is, I think if we're ever going to be in this situation, this is the time to be in it. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if we were in wooden chairs and like, you know, there was no technology, like our lives would be, you know, they would be shitty.
I just heard a story today of a guy who just turned 86, a quadriplegic. He got hurt when he was 26.
Oh my God.
60 freaking years in a wheelchair. I mean, that's
amazing.
And that's back in the day. He's dealing with some primitive stuff. I mean, he's wheeling around on a wooden chair with play wheels or something.
I actually probably saw his picture at Rancho Los Amigos when I was there. Yeah. They had some old pictures. I swear to God, I used to always tell people, like, I think Jesus went here back in the day when he rehabbed from coming off the cross, you know? Like, but I seriously think if we're ever going to be in this situation, I think there'll eventually be an Iron Man suit we can jump into or like some type of exoskeleton that we could use. I've seen some of them already being used now, but I think eventually if they don't come up with a cure for paralysis, we'll have that option, you know? So when we talk about technology, it makes me excited knowing that we have possibilities.
Yeah. Dude, I have faith in my heart that cure, that technology is all coming around. But the thing that we've learned through all this is you can't wait for that day to come. You can't just sit back and, you know, expect your life to have that miracle change. You have to start putting in the work, you know, to start making those changes, start, you know, finding out those technologies that are going to help you to be more independent. You know, how is it that you're using, say, Alexa, you know, in your new home to help you out?
You know, my game plan moving into my house was I wanted to make everything accessible for me. I wanted it to be my house, you know. So I use Alexa as my main hub, and it's connected to all my light switches. It's connected to my door lock from my front door. It's connected to my camera from Ring doorbell. It's connected to my TV. I mean, it's pretty much she's my roommate at this point.
Yeah.
You know, when she says good morning in the morning, I've programmed it for her to say, good morning, handsome. Hope you have a great day today. And the weather's going to be 68 degrees in Whittier. Yeah. You know, so I mean, it's very innovative. It's cool. If any of you guys have questions about it, just DM us, and you know, I'll give you more details on what products I'm using.
And we could share some of them today too. We'll throw them up on the screen. We'll share the links below for you guys. We just want to help you out. You know, we've been at this for 7.5 years now. You know, so there's things that we've learned, and so we want to pass those along. I mean, and for me, independence was really tough. I mean, I don't have the use of my arms much at all. I mean, now I could use my pinky a little bit to type, but before I couldn't do any of that. And especially when, you know, the iPhone still had the button, you had the home screen button that you had to hit to open it up. I couldn't do that. I always had to have someone come help me get into my phone, go through my stuff. And there just, you know, there was a lack of privacy, and, you know, I just, you know, it was on my mind all the time.
Let me ask you a question. Did you fight, like, in the beginning when I first got hurt, there was almost like a resistance for me to jump into doing things differently. Did you ever have that moment where you were like so frustrated, like, I just want to do this the way I'm supposed to do it, or I did it before?
Oh yeah. And I think, you know, especially it depends what stage of grief that you're at, especially when you're in denial, you know, or you're going through anger. I mean, you just so badly just want it to be back to the way it was, or just so badly want things to change. And you have to feel that emotion. I feel like you really have to, like, really feel that frustration in order to, you know, finally get fed up with it to the point where you're like, all right, I've exhausted everything in my emotional, mental power to will myself back to the way things were. It's not happening. It's time to step up and look for some new ways to do it.
Yeah. I hit those crossroads too. You know, I was like, I'm just going to wait. Like you said, I'm going to wait until I can do this, you know, normally, whatever normal is these days. And I literally held off on advancing in my life because of that attitude. Yeah. And now I'm the complete opposite. I submerge into, you know, my situation, because the more I do that, the more I find out what's possible. And the more I extend those boundaries. Yeah. You know, and I think that's what the main reason we're doing the show too, is I think people always kind of question our independence. Right. You know, what can you do in that chair? Well, check it out. Come to my house and I'll show you. Yeah. You know, go to your house and you'll show them.
That sounds a little sexual. Yeah, right.
A little bit. That's what open invite to, you know, to all our good looking listeners. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the challenge is always going to be crest upon us while we're in this situation. Right. Is what is your independence and what you can do. You know, and I think that's what we're doing right now. We're proving to everybody that we can do anything we put our minds to.
Absolutely. And I mean, technology has been such a big help in that area. You know, for me, you know, just communicating and just trying to do things while I'm in the car. I can't just sit there and pull my phone out, you know? Right. And it's like, I want to be like, hey Siri, text Sonny Case Power. What do you want to say? You are so good looking, you sexy beast. Yes. Look at that. Okay. I'm flirting. I'm loving. Wow. I'm communicating. Yes. No hands. Look, Mom, no hands. See that? Like, even just the things that Apple's been doing, that's huge. I mean, their new, like, accessibility features are huge with voiceover, the magnifier, talk to text. I mean, when you go in the store, you talk to them like their geniuses are sitting there and like, yeah, I had to go through a training. I had to have my hands behind my back and be blindfolded, and I could navigate everything in my phone. It's like, that's amazing. I mean, just the state of where we are in 2020.
I think people miss the purpose of that too. They think like this is for lazy people or for whatever reason, but no, this is for people in our situation that need help with the kind of the daily task. And like, it kind of makes us feel more included. Yeah. You know, that inclusion kind of like, I think we both went through that stage of when we first got hurt thinking like, man, we just don't fit in anymore. You know, and if we wanted to continue relationships, it was hard. Yeah. Because the main like form of communication this day is texting. Right. So with that, I mean, it totally allows us to have a lot of normalcy in our life and to have more depth to our relationships.
I can totally vouch for that. Like the first few years I was trying to date and like, hey Mom, will you grab my phone
and send this text?
Like you can, like she could hit the microphone, but it's like, dude, you really like you couldn't communicate and say everything that you wanted to say. No, you know, and you're right. It lacks that depth.
Right.
You know, and if we can do these things independently now, like you open up a new like realm of your relationship world, and that's just one aspect of it.
What is your favorite form of adaptive technology right now? Like what's your, like, if you ever had to like praise one piece of technology you have right now, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be my love triangle of the girls. I got my girls Alexa and Siri. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
Love them. They help me every day. Staying organized, scheduling events. Setting reminders. Asking for the bits of information. Like with if I'm like getting ready in the bathroom and I need to just shout it out. Like if I need to plan out what to wear today, like I can ask, Alexa for the weather, and like, those things are just really easy for me because, they're hands free, and I use them so often. But also when I was going through school, using Dragon dictation on my computer was huge.
Is that dictation better than Siri and Alexa? Because I know they mess up words all the time.
So I actually moved from, I had a PC, I was using the Surface Pro, which was absolutely great for school and everything that I was doing. But now with all the new accessibility features that Apple's putting together, I can integrate. So I moved from my laptop I'm using a iPad Air now, just because I can integrate, across like all of my devices, and it makes it easier. I still use my laptop though, because with Dragon, I mean, writing papers and like navigating the internet and doing all these things. I mean, if I could make it through 2 years of grad school, getting my MBA with Dragon, then I mean, it's pretty good stuff, man. The one thing I will say, it was really hard trying to do business analytics and do Excel using Dragon. If you want to bang your head against your desk, I literally have straight up head butted my keyboard.
Give us a command, like you have to press like Control and all kinds of different things, right, for Excel.
Yeah, I mean,
so you have to mouth that out, right? Like Control slash
press Control Shift. This.
It's insane.
Press Control Shift right. Press Control Shift down. Press Enter. Press Control B. And all those things. Like
that's insane.
And it's you kind of are forced into learning patience. Yeah. And all of that. But I would just be sitting there. I'd be getting so frustrated. And it screws something up. I'm like, you mother piece of shit. I hate this computer. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I just couldn't deal with any of that stuff. And, you have to take a deep breath, come back to it, get back at it. But again, it's all things that otherwise I couldn't do. I couldn't sit there and type and move a mouse. So, it's a trade-off. You got to be a little bit more patient, a little more vigilant with it.
Absolutely. And, but I mean, with the technology too, it allows me to feel completely safe in a house by myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I could order food by just, speaking into my phone, to groceries, to looking at a camera to make sure nothing's going on outside my home, to locking the door. I mean, like, technology's, it's at where it needs to be right now. And it's only getting better, and it's only getting more, adaptable, So, I mean, it's a completely exciting time for me. I think another thing people always ask me about independence wise is my driving.
Yeah.
And,
adaptive devices.
Huge. And every day I go somewhere, somebody always stops and sees my contraption to my truck, which we'll play the video up right here. Yeah. And they're always just like, whoa, I've never seen this before. And I sit there and I talk to them. I tell them where I got it done at, which is Ability Center. There's one in Stanton and there's one in Long Beach, if you're curious. And basically, though, the little backstory that when I first got hurt, I was going to the Goodwill Fitness Center, but Marty knows the real name of that place now.
Oh, the Rogers A. Severson Fitness and Technology Center of Orange County?
That place. And they convinced me that I could drive again. Because I was told in the beginning I would never drive, and I was scared shitless. My transfer sucked, and I just didn't think I was mobile enough to do it.
Not to cut you off, but let that be known. Like, I feel like it's a very common thing when people are getting out of the hospital that doctors kind of like limit you in terms of what you're going to be able to do. Yeah. Like, don't let them like box in your mindset of what you're capable of. It's all about growth. Your body's going to change so much over the years. Yes. That's just with like spinal cord injuries. But I mean, there's so many therapies out there now that you can grow. I mean, if you like work on your diet, if you're vigilant about your therapies, and like if you keep your mind healthy, that shit's going to expand. You're going to be able to do so much more than you think. And I just, you saying that, it just made me mad, because I know that's the same, death sentence I was given. It's like, you're going to be confined to a wheelchair. You're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z ever again. And it's like, look, dude.
Aren't you coming up to your life expectancy too?
Yeah, 37 years old. I had a number on my head that my life expectancy was 37. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's some crazy talk in the beginning. It reminds me of a story too. I wish I knew the person's name off the top of my head, but the first person to ever run a 4-minute mile. Mm-hmm. There was like no one before it, right? Yeah. And he did it at the Olympics or something like that. He ran under 4 minutes. But after that, it's been done like, hundreds or maybe thousands times, So it's like, I always tell people, just because you haven't seen it done, why not you?
All about the idea of what's possible.
What's possible? Why not you?
Yeah.
Why can't you be the first one, Mm-hmm.
So get back to your car. So they told you they didn't think you'd ever drive again.
No. And I had my first big purchase as an adult was my truck. Yeah. So another thing too, I want to showcase your car too, is we're not limited to people in wheelchairs with any disabilities to driving vans or just like cars that, if you want to drive something that
suits your personality.
Yeah, exactly. And that my truck did. And I haven't seen any conversions. I've seen a couple since that look like it, but I was kind of guinea pigged it. I went down to the Ability Center and asked them, hey, listen, this is my truck. Is there any way I could use this?
Yeah.
And we kind of brainstormed and they said, well, this might work. And then, we kind of put it all together, and that's how I got back into my vehicle, and it's given me a piece of my normalcy again, where I feel like a little bit of Sonny before my injury, but more importantly, it's given me the independence to go and hang out with friends, to go on dates, to do whatever I want to do, go to the gym again, that we'll get into as well.
Yeah.
But it's just giving me that little independence I never thought I'd have again.
Yeah. And I mean, just seeing how your truck works, I mean, having that little crane feature that lifts it up, drops it down right next to you, having your chair drop down. It's really cool. Yeah. And I mean, I think the one
it's practical too.
Yeah.
It hasn't broken down. Or
it doesn't put you way too far out from your car. So, I mean, you can get out of your car when it's a pretty tight space, because a lot of those blue stripes on handicapped spaces are only 4 feet wide, It's crazy. I know with my car, which I love, I got an MV1. Forever, I was a truck guy. I was a truck guy. That was me. And then after I got hurt, it's like, okay, I'm like slide board transferring.
You were in that old school white van for a minute there.
Yeah, dude. I had to get
fit you at all.
I know. I call it white girl. I'll try to find a picture of white girl. I'll throw it up there for you. But just a big old ambulance looking van, and it was great. It worked out well for me. But again, it didn't quite fit me. So when it was time to finally move on, and I could make that big boy purchase, it was like, all right, I was looking at trucks. Some of them were kind of out of the price range for what I was looking at. And then I came across the MV1. I'm like, all right, man, it looks a little funky. Kind of looks like a London Cabbie / Hummer / whatever. And but dude, I fixed it. I got it tinted. Threw my off-road tires on. Got some rims. And it feels like me now. And I literally can't go a single day without someone being like, hey, man, what's that car?
You bring up price. I think people are always stuck on price too. Mm-hmm. I was lucky enough to own my truck, but I was also lucky enough that when it came to conversion time, the gym I was rehabbing at helped pay for most of that.
Yeah.
So there's grants out there. There's ways of producing money. Mm-hmm. You don't always have to go with what you see. You can come up with your own ideas, and don't be afraid to ask. You never know unless you ask.
Yeah. We know that, being disabled comes with a major financial burden a lot of times.
Everything's jacked up price-wise most of the time, But
I remember getting a cushion for my bath chair because the other one was hard and I wanted something softer. And it was it came with a bunch of balloons on it. It just was like balloon. I'm sitting on that. You know what they tried to charge me for that thing?
Like $500.
$700 for a cushion. It's so stupid. But just don't.
You'd be surprised what your insurance covers. So always ask about insurance first.
Right.
There's grants out there. There's GoFundMe's. Don't be afraid to ask for help from your friends, family, people. Just putting the word out there sometimes will give you help. Like when it came time for me to buy a hand cycle, I started a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And I everybody chipped in. Everybody thought it was a cool idea, and I ended up purchasing a hand cycle, So it's don't be afraid to ask. It doesn't make you needy. It doesn't make you, I don't know what else adjective to add for it, but
yeah. I mean, the worst thing that's ever going to happen is you're in the same spot that you're in now.
Yeah.
You at least got to put yourself out there and ask.
100%.
I mean, don't be shady and ask if you don't need it, but just see what's out there. There's scholarships, there's grants. All those things help out. But I mean, with the other assistive devices, your car, I mean, the ramps, like converting like vehicles is amazing. One that's really helped me out a lot is the mouth stick. I use this thing every single day to navigate my iPad and my phone when I'm at my desk. I could use my hand a little bit. You can see like I can scroll up, down.
It's a mouth stick.
So a mouth stick is a stylus that has, a little bite piece on it, a little mouthpiece on the end.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a little magic wand. You just sit there and it has a conductive plug on the end. And it allows you to scroll through your iPad or your phone or whatever it is, just without your hands.
Okay. I was wondering how you like navigated through like Instagram or things like that.
Okay. Yeah, you could swipe. No,
okay.
yes,
nope.
Yes,
okay.
no.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I'm retired from that swipe life,
Yeah, for now. Anyways.
But yeah, that thing's been super helpful. So if you're like a quad, newly injured or just haven't, heard of a mouth stick before, get out there. They're out there. I mean, it just comes with two little rubber pieces that go over the mouthpiece and the conductive plugs, and it's a game changer.
An amputee could use that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the other things that you'll need too is because you can't hold your iPad or your phone or whatever. So I had like an old like speaker that holds like an iPad that you plug in, and it's smart. It just holds it upright for me so that I could type into it. I use a little non-skid pad under it. To make sure it doesn't push around when I'm, pushing into it. That's awesome. And WeatherTech actually came out with a desk phone holder that seems like super legit. I've been looking into one. My sister made me this like great like PVC holder for my mouth stick. Okay. It's like one of the greatest gifts ever, and that's I just like, thoughtful. Prop it up a little angle to hold my mouse stick when I need a break. But those are the kind of things that have been like super helpful. Like it literally is something I use every single day. It allows me to get like a lot of work done, be productive, and do it independently.
I think we need to vlog it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool vlog for you to do that and show people like what you do when it comes to the mouse stick. Also, too, I want to include a vlog about my truck as well when it comes to the hand controls and how my seat comes in and out of my truck and picks up my wheelchair and all that. So stay tuned. We'll work on those vlogs for you guys.
Yeah, and we'd love to answer any questions you have about any of the things that we mentioned here today. Feel free to just drop us a comment below. Adaptive devices are huge, and there's probably something out there that you don't even know about. So just throw a search out there on the internet, see what's out there, what are you struggling with, and see if there's something, because people are out there innovating, trying to make a difference every day,
especially with all the outlets we have these days. Like there's so many ideas I've gotten from YouTube, that I've gotten from Instagram, Facebook, people similar to me doing cool things that I've integrated into my life, no problem. Of course it's different, but I found out how I would do it. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, is figuring out what works for you.
For sure. And so I kind of want to get back into, your new house and home accessibility. I bought a home years ago, and I was fortunate enough to have a sister who's an interior designer. Sister. And her boyfriend's a general contractor. Yeah. And so I was able to do a lot of modifications on my house that have made a world of difference for me.
Right.
Some of those things like being extra wide doorways, you can put a ramp or, like a little threshold bumper into the doorway.
Right.
Roll-in shower is huge.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the things you're doing with your house.
So when I purchased my house, it was a complete fixer-upper. So I built out my master bathroom, which I'll show you a picture of as well. I'm proud of it, so I definitely want to show a picture of it. We can have a party in there.
Yeah. Did Chip and JoJo do it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
We could fit like.
You already see your fixer-upper?
We could fit like 18 people in this bathroom. I got a wall-mounted sink, so I could roll underneath it. Okay. And for me, having limited trunk control, I could lean against the sink, brush my teeth. I'm gonna try to shave actually.
Oh wow.
I got a backlit mirror, so I can
take a good look at that face now, guys. It might be scarred up, bleeding.
Yeah, maybe
coming up next time.
Chicks dig scars though.
Yeah, they do.
So I got a wall-mounted sink. I got a roll-in shower. I got a detachable shower head, mostly for any girl that wants. No, I'm kidding. For me, if I want to, shampoo my hair or do anything like that, I got a really nice wooden seat that comes down. That's a fold-up.
Okay.
The bathroom's amazing. I got an adjustable bed, which I find very handy.
Yeah.
From myself, like if I'm watching TV or if I'm eating whatever, I like to sit up. Where other beds, you'd have to like prop yourself with pillows.
What bed are you using?
I got a, God, I don't know.
I have a Sleep Number i8, and it's legit.
Yeah.
I love it. So The sleep number, you can adjust like the the firmness of the mattress.
Is it split or is it a queen?
It's not split. It's a queen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I like better.
Yeah. It seemed like a good idea. Like, the person next to me can sit up while I'm sleeping. Or
do you ever have that issue?
No.
Like, do you sleep a little bit of a tilt up, or do you sleep completely flat?
Yeah, I've always flat.
You sleep on your side, or you sleep on your back?
I sleep on my side.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's why it's nice to keep it a little bit softer, because sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll get into a hotel and the mattresses are so firm, which helps like with like transferring, so you're not so sunk in to the bed. But like for me, sleeping on my shoulder on a hard mattress just kills.
Oh yeah.
And so it's nice with the sleep number because you can adjust the firmness. So when you sit up and you're ready to transfer, you can adjust it, and the bed can literally like inflate to a more firmer mattress and help you transfer more easily. No, which is super nice. Yeah. I love that. And it's got like a massager on it with multiple settings.
And we know that.
It's got like
for blood circulation, right?
Yeah.
For your legs.
For sure. I got a lot of sciatic pain.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
And it's got like a nightlight feature, but the
nightlight feature too?
It does. Like underneath the bed, it'll just shoot a light. And so
like when you step down or something like that, like shows your feet, whatever.
Like if you have if you need to go to the restroom or something, just grab the remote.
Which reminds me, I have a sensor light in my bathroom.
Oh, that's legit.
So when I roll in there, the light just pops on for me. I don't have to like search for the light or whatever. Yeah,
that's huge. Yeah, in the middle of the night, man.
Smart move.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
or you could just ask Alexa.
It's true. When it comes to any other adaptive stuff, all the switches are dimmable just by me telling Alexa, hey, it's movie night. Everything will dim down and get super romantic and stuff. It's really nice. I can't wait till you check it out, actually.
Right by that fireplace.
I got chair.
Cue that Deadpool song.
When I was searching for my furniture, I got chair height furniture as well. So it's like a level transfer. I can just slide in and out of my furniture without there being much issue there. But you know what it was? At the end of the day, when I was really modifying everything, again, there's no playbook to this. So I really thought, like, what would be easy for me?
Yeah.
The little breakfast nook table I got is bar height. So it's a little bit higher, so I can easily roll underneath. And if I was eating something, it'd be right here where, my knees don't hit the table or anything like that.
It's one of the most annoying things going to a restaurant. I'm a taller guy.
Right.
So just going up, and it's funny. Like, if I'm not paying attention, the person is just they're going in. So you're just like, oh my God, just slam your kneecaps.
Yes. Which isn't cool.
No.
So but to me, like when it came down to it, I just thought like what would work for me, and I figured it out on the run. You know what I mean? Or on the wheel or whatever you want to say there. But it's all about exploring and taking the time to do the little detailed things. I think it was which really paid off for me getting my house together.
Yeah, good for you, man. My house too, same thing. It was fixer upper. It was like an 80-year-old woman's like cat palace inside. Man, just had like dark green carpets and like rose like wallpaper. There were like curtains around the bathtub and just like all this crazy stuff. My bathroom actually, when I couldn't get into it or turn, I should say.
It was too tight.
I literally could get just barely through the doorway.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't turn anywhere. So we actually gutted the whole like back quarter of my house. Rotated both bathrooms, which backed up to one another.
Wow.
Rotated them 90 degrees, and then just opened up the doorways. We moved some of moved the water heater.
What size doorway did you go with?
I'm not sure on the actual width. Do you know, just because you're kind of in it right now?
Yeah, no. With my bathroom, I went 42 inch, which is like the standard's 36 inches.
Okay, yeah.
I went 42. I wanted room to get in and out of the bathroom and feel super comfortable.
For sure.
But every other doorway in my house is 36 inches.
Nice.
Which is like a standard doorway for like your main door, like your front door.
Front door. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 36 if you want to kind of figure out what the width is.
It's crazy to me to think, like, when I was looking at houses, I'm like, there's no way that's an actual doorway.
Yeah.
Doors were like 18 inches wide.
It's
I swear
crazy,
to God, like all these houses, like that were built like in the 50s.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, what the heck?
And that's the worst for me is like when I'm going through a doorway and I have to like shrink up or I clip my knuckles on the doorway. Nothing pisses me off more. Yeah.
Especially if you're at someone else's house, you feel bad. It's like,
geez,
you're like playing Operation trying to like get through the door.
And that's the one thing I've noticed the most is in my kitchen I put a kitchen island, and on each side of the kitchen island is 36 inches. So when you go around the whole kitchen island, you have that clearance.
Oh, that's legit.
And that was important to me too, because I plan on at least throwing something in the microwave. I don't know how much I'll cook, but I'll at least have to throw something in the micro or get something out of the fridge or whatever. So everything's counter height. And then there's 36 inches around the whole kitchen for me to navigate through.
Yeah.
Which is all the little things we never think about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, speaking of cooking,
yeah.
Like there's great meal prep companies out there.
There are, yes. I've actually inquired about one I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
Can we throw the info up on that one?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Naked meal prep?
Yes, that's the one. I'm at least going to get 4 or 5 meals.
Yeah.
There's a delivery service included with this one, but the food just looks so delicious I could not pass it up. So let's go ahead and throw some info up on that
throw
one.
it up there. But I mean, these things exist. You got DoorDash, Uber Eats. I mean, meal prep companies that will deliver to you. So I mean, if you're living alone, I mean, maybe you don't have a caregiver there all the time, and you're hungry. I mean, the things are out there. You just
our diet's extremely important to us.
Absolutely. I mean, your health starts from within.
I just realized when I was bigger, it was harder to move. And it was harder to get into clothes. And little things, and my stomach digests differently now. Yeah. So it's like I gotta eat cleaner. So it's good to have meal prep companies or just to evaluate the situation with a little more detail.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you eat good, you feel good.
You look good naked.
You look good.
That's all I
I feel like you have more energy in the gym.
100%.
Yeah. One thing we didn't get into
was the gym.
Yeah. Okay, so we use these great gloves. I know you've used a different one. You use the one with the hook on the front?
I use Active Hands.
Active Hands, yep.
Which I'd love to give them a plug because they've given me free gloves quite a few times. So we'll go ahead and plug them as well. Yeah. And I have a lot of videos on my social media with using Active Hands. But yeah, they're easy to get on your hands with quad hands with horrible grip. The ones I use have a hook on them because it's easier to use like handles. Like if I'm doing the cable machine or things like that, I could easily hook up to them with no issue.
And taking them off by yourself too. You just hook it.
Yeah,
see, for me, I have the Velcro ones someone helps put on because I can't just hold that grip while the hooks would work for me.
Yeah.
I got started with the Velcros and I think I just got used to them. It's a bit of neoprene and Velcro, but it wraps your hand around it, it Velcros it, and I don't
comfortable.
I don't have too much mobility, but it just it allows me, like when I'm doing those rows pulling back.
Right.
It's great and it feels good to kind of have your hand around.
Safe in them too.
Yeah, you're not worried about it.
Slipping or none of that stuff. They feel great.
Yeah.
Did they ever hurt your wrist at all or anything like that?
No, I mean unless I'm trying to rock, like a watch under it, which I don't.
Yeah, that's a bad move.
You got to get a feel for it. Especially if you can't feel. Be sure to have whoever's working with you check the tightness because I do have a lot of sensation. I'm probably about 90% of my sensation back, and sometimes when it's really cranked down, it just feels like really stressing my joints.
Right.
So just be sure you have people check that. But Active Hands. Great product.
Love
totally
them.
Changed the game in the gym. So
I love what they're about too. They're all about helping people. There's also there is Active Hands, but I have found similar grips on Amazon that are a little bit cheaper. But again, that takes time for you to research and look that up because they do have different versions out there. But it's all about your research and how badly you want to get back into the gym.
Yeah.
Now I've gone to common gyms like LA Fitness, UFC Gym, 24-Hour Fitness.
Yeah.
And they're not the most accommodating places, but again, I found a routine in there that I've crushed, that I love, that I've enjoyed. You got to get over that shyness of I'm in a wheelchair and there's nobody else in the gym in the wheelchair, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? Go in there and be yourself. Because I found out by working out that people will come up to me naturally and ask me, hey, you need help with this, help with that. Or if I'm trying to hook up to a machine, I'm like, hey, buddy, you mind lowering that for me so I can reach it? No issue whatsoever. People are so game to help you if you just ask.
And dude, being a badass isn't about stacking plates on the bar. It's about pushing yourself and pushing your comfort zone and seeing what you can do to better yourself. So I mean, if you want to do it, get out there. I mean, there's adaptive gyms that can help people in the spinal cord injury community, the disabled community. But if you want to get into a regular gym, get out there and do it. This guy's done it. Many guys are doing it.
I've tried them all, even the cheaper ones like Choose Fitness. I mean, I've done them all.
Yeah,
I've done a tour on all of them, and to me, they're all adaptable in some sense.
Yeah.
And with these Active Hands or with any kind of special hand grip, and even if you want to go with somebody, maybe a buddy, which I think is a great way to work out, is having an accountability buddy, which we've talked about before. Absolutely. Get you in there. And what it did for me after working out, it gave me more energy and more willpower to go try other stuff outside the gym, like shopping, wheeling around the mall, things like that.
It's all about willpower.
That's it, man.
And
willpower.
One other great thing at the gym that I think, breeds independent in itself, is the easy standing frames.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you can get up, get that weight bearing into your legs, get some circulation going, fight that osteoporosis.
Yeah.
But dude, there's even like a platform on the top of it where you can get some work done. If you want to get some reading in, you can do that. You can study, you can text, you can email.
I've even worked out on those things.
Done.
I've used Active Hands or other adaptive devices to do curls, to do bicep curls, there's one that I used too that was almost like an elliptical machine. That was by Easy Stand as well. That I have a video that I'll pop it up as well. So I mean, again, it all comes. I didn't see that from anybody. I created that idea by myself. So, but there's so much stuff out there that you just need to uncover and discover.
For sure,
like Indiana Jones.
Totally,
my boy.
The Temple of Doom.
Exactly.
All right, man. So we've gone through technology. We've gone through the adaptive devices.
Driving.
We've gone through home accessibility. Now, the last 2 points, I'm not going to say they're most important, but there's something that just hits different with these. And to get started on number 4, it's mental independence. I mean, just because your body is limited, you're disabled or whatever, that does not mean that you are not capable of so much independence. There's so many things. And for me, I mean, getting financially independent comes with, just getting organized, switching all your bills over to like bill pay, those sorts of things where you don't have to have a caregiver or your family handling those things for you. And I mean, that's a big burden, just for me, especially like with not being able to use my hands, I can do so much of like the business end. And, I've been able to add professional value to myself by getting mentally independent,
Well, not only that, you were on a completely different career path before you got hurt. So you had to start over from scratch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there wasn't like a field that you thought of right away. You went back to school, you educated yourself, and then you found that path and you created your own agency right now.
Right.
And for me, it was similar to that. It was like I was on a completely different career path as well. Then I got hurt. I had to reinvent myself.
Yeah.
And I find myself doing other cool things now, but I had to get out of my comfort zone and I had to go out there and do it. Just because you're in a wheelchair or you have a disability does not mean you can't have a job.
Right.
It's not an excuse in my book.
No, absolutely. And, our minds are capable of such amazing things. It's like if say you're right-handed and, you lose a limb in war or whatever, your left hand will now start picking up the slack. You're going to learn how to write left-handed. Your mind will adapt. And I feel like when your body becomes compromised or limited due to a disability, injury, whatever it is, your mind is going to start like seeing things differently, picking up on things. Like for me personally, I feel like I've become more aware. I've become a better communicator.
Yeah.
And it's all because I have to like assess situations differently. I have to, see things. I have to be more focused and organized. And your mind kind of picks up the slack in that way. And I don't want you guys to limit yourselves by your disability just from a physicality standpoint, because your mind is capable of doing so many things. So pick up that burden, get those bills paid, through ePay, add that professional value to yourself. You can take online courses without moving your hands. I mean, I did grad school. You can do this kind of thing.
Absolutely. And I think it starts too with the way you talk to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Your inner voice. It's funny because we've had episodes about where we talked about how our inner voice tormented us before our injury and a little bit and a lot afterwards as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we made that decision, like, you know what, I'm not going to live this way anymore. And we made that decision and we decided, okay, we're going to start putting ourselves out there.
Yeah.
And we're going to figure this shit out. So if you're sitting there and your back's up against the wall, make that decision.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Hopefully it doesn't come down to what we're going through. Hopefully it doesn't,
right, yeah.
It doesn't take this kind of situation to
Don't
change
wait
you.
for that.
Don't wait for it. Make that decision now. Like, I'm tired of this shit relationship. I'm tired of this dead end job, but make that decision. But talk to yourself through it and encourage yourself, because there's always going to be people that are going to come by and limit you. Yeah. Oh, you can't do that. There's no way you'll make that profession,
No.
Always going to be haters.
Codependence is a problem that spans across all demographics, whether you're injured, disabled, able-bodied, whatever. People are codependent on their spouses, on their friends,
parents.
On whatever, parents, anything. And it's like you cannot have your emotions like run vicariously through others and their opinion of you. You don't want to limit yourself to that. So being like emotionally independent, like getting a hold and finding your own confidence, finding like, your own voice and, just building that professional value in yourself to stand up and like actually, you know, take on a career that you want, not that others want for you. You know, it's a huge thing. So getting emotionally independent, you know, and finding yourself is a massive part of independence in itself.
Yeah, because I think one of our most valuable currencies is our emotions. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's easy, especially because we're in our situation. People come up to us every day and say dumb shit.
Yeah,
ask us dumb questions, and the easiest thing to do with that is react. You know, which I don't like. There's really nothing you could possibly say to me about me that's going to get a reaction out of me,
right?
Because that's my currency. I only give reactions to people I care about, or to things I care about, or things I'm passionate about. You know, so keep control of your emotions. I always say the best reaction is no reaction. You know, because people are always going to try to like, you know, nudge you a little bit to have a reaction or to get your goat. But to me, it's like, I can separate my emotions from logic. And it's all about, you know, being level-headed, you know, it's one thing I super lacked before I got hurt.
Same. I'm totally level-headed. Nothing really affects me like, you know, the Ducks sucking ass this year, you know, or the Angels
garbage.
Not landing another pitcher.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with all that. It's totally
teams,
cool.
Man. Garbage teams.
I love it. It's great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Totally level-headed.
Yeah. I mean, but it's important to feel that way, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like positive self-talk, having control of your emotions, knowing that there's always going to be haters out there. And it's honestly, it's kind of a kudos to you.
Let that shit fuel you, bro.
If you're not being hated on, then you're not doing something right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I love when people talk about me because I know, okay, I'm putting myself out there and I'm doing something, so there's something to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm not just watching life pass me by. And that was a big issue I had when I first got hurt.
Totally. And now for number 5, the final one is challenging yourself.
Yes.
Nothing contributes more to your independence than getting out of your comfort zone, seeing what's out there, and challenging yourself. You got to find your own way.
Yeah. How long did it take for you to like say, okay, the chair is what it is. I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to challenge myself by going back to school. Like, what was the turning point for you, or what brought that on?
Yeah. I want to say it was like almost close to 3 years.
Okay.
You know, I was in denial for a bit. You know, I really just was in a codependent state of mind where I was relying on the girl I was dating for happiness. You know, I was kind of just, you know, thriving on her support and love because I didn't love myself at all. Yeah. You know, I was just hanging out with her because she was keeping me happy. And then after that relationship ended, I was in the dumps. I had to confront that darkness and ride that out for a while, and that shit sucked, dude.
It's a horrible feeling.
And, you know, I was just in a fog. I just remember times where I was so frustrated and so depressed that I'm literally looking forward and not seeing a damn thing in front of me. It was just like black, and just dark thoughts running through your mind. And you kind of, you know, you go through those periods and you kind of just have to persevere. I call it through the thorns, man. You have to like keep climbing through that painful period and find yourself and kind of realize the things that are making you insecure, making you angry, you know, making you feel depressed or anxious, all those things. You have to feel it, but then you can start tending to it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you really have to go through that process in order to get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm ready to start taking things on in a new light. This is a different life. It's not the one that I necessarily wanted, but it's the one in front of me.
It's the only one I got.
I think it's the one God put in front of me for a purpose. And here I am. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the gym every day. What am I doing? You know, like my body's in a pretty good place, you know, relative to where it could be if I wasn't, you know, busting my ass every day. But what can I do? And it's like, I wanted to add that professional value to myself. My mind is like, it was just like the untapped resource that I hadn't, you know, decided to invest in yet. And so it was like, look, man, I can do this. The technology is there somewhat. It's going to suck. But I need that challenge. And I think one of the biggest things, too, is giving yourself an obligation. I've probably said it before, and I'm going to say it again. It's just having that obligation is something that just holds you accountable. It's too easy to give up. Be like, I can't do it. I'm not feeling it today. But I had to show up to class. I had to take that test. I had to do that thing. And I had to do that shit for 2 years. And I grew so much in that period. And it was the most difficult, you know, straining experience of my life, but easily the most rewarding.
How gratifying was it when you accomplished what you set out to do, though?
My God, dude, so
priceless,
so good. Yeah, just priceless.
Better than anything you probably experienced in a long time.
I will say that was the biggest thing, and a major shout out to the Swim with Mike Scholarship Organization for helping me get back to school. And that goes back again to, you know,
searching out help.
You got to seek out help. There's scholarships out there. You know, if you If you're injured, for me, I was a former athlete and newly injured, and here comes the Swim with Mike organization, which provides scholarships to, former athletes trying to get back and, add value to themselves through education. It's like, you got to seek out those grants and those scholarships because they're 100%. Out there. But the point is, you got to challenge yourself. You got to want it. You got to want to push forward to get there.
I think it's funny too. A girl also, was my encouragement as well.
Yeah.
And we're hopeless romantics, so it doesn't surprise us.
Yeah, we are.
But she challenged me. She was like, you rely on your mother too much. And I'm like, oh, I love my mom. She loves doing these things for me.
We're mama's boys. Sorry.
And she was right though.
Sorry.
She was like, if you don't you want to see if you can do it for yourself? I'm like, oh, I know I can, but inside I was like almost lying to her.
Right.
Like, I thought I can, or maybe I can, but I had no idea. And it started about 4 years post injury as well. And I thought, man, if I ever want to live on my own, I need to try to do these things on my own.
Right.
From the small little task to the bigger task, So I just took it head on. I said, you know what? She's right. And I started just taking a little bit at a time to the point where finally, now that I'm moving this week, I feel like, wow, I did it.
You did, dude. I'm so happy for you.
I did it. You know what I mean?
Stoked, bud.
I mean, there's going to be a whole new set of challenges coming my way. The journey's not over.
Yeah.
But I've learned to appreciate the struggle.
Yeah.
There's something about being faced with that struggle and then getting through it that no relationship could ever give me, that no alcohol could ever do for me, no drug on this planet could ever do for me. There's something about taking that struggle in, internalizing it, breaking it down into small pieces and beating it. That gratification to me is something that's more important and is more fulfilling than anything I've ever experienced in my life.
I love it. Dude.
So if you guys are dealing with anything out there, it's weird to say, but embrace the struggle. There's something about it that I love.
Absolutely. It's going to be the most rewarding experience of your life. Yeah. You got to persevere through that. Find people who are going to support you. If you need some support, we're here for you.
Always.
Feel free to DM us. We're here to talk to you.
In fact, we're going to be somewhere local this weekend.
We are, man.
Where are we going?
We're going to be at the Abilities Expo, the LA Convention Center. We're going to be there on Friday afternoon, shooting an episode live at 2 p.m.
Hell yeah.
So if you're in the area, come join us. One thing I want to say too is, a lot of people, whether disabled, injured, dealing with things, sometimes you have to be dependent. Yeah, dependent. I said it. And there's a lot to be said for being a person that people want to help. Like if you're going to be an asshole, or put all of your shit on, to their shoulders and just, basically harp on them for trying to help you out, that's not a good way to go. You got to deal with those emotions on your own. I highly recommend seeking out a therapist, psychologist, whatever you need. Find ways, meditation, find ways to vent that out so that you can return the favor by at least just being a good person, being lovable, and, being someone that people want to help.
God, I agree so much with you right now. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And I find myself apologizing because I think that when you take accountability for being an asshole every now and then, it doesn't make it okay, but it at least helps the healing process, and I have a lot of help in my life. Even as independent as I want to be, I'm still always going to need some type of help. And even if I was able-bodied, I would still need help. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. That vulnerability shows strength. But there are times where I just know I'm being a dick because I'm just edgy. I'm tired of it today. I'm tired of needing help for this, that, or the other. But I catch myself either that day or the day after, and I apologize for it. And I think that's what our society lacks a little bit, is accountability for our actions.
And you know what I do? So my problem a lot of times is I apologize in advance just for asking for help.
Yeah.
And I get it all the time from my girlfriend or my mom. It's like, stop saying sorry. This is what I'm here. I love you. I'm here to help you, So
I was there one day and you were like, hey, sorry if I come off like an asshole. And I thought that was cool. Because you were trying to get something done. You were a little bit frustrated. And you're like, hey, sorry if I sound like an asshole, but can you be quiet in the kitchen?
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? Because how this can come off. You're aware of yourself, And I think awareness is important these days. So kudos to you for that.
Thanks. All in all, it's all about challenging yourself, guys. Find the things that are out there, the technology, the adaptive devices. You could fix up your home in so many ways to make things easier for you.
Yeah.
Find that mental independence. Challenge yourself, at home, the things that you can do. And always, always challenge yourself and just be a good person.
And I want to stress too, we knew zero about our injuries before we got hurt. We knew zero about home modifications and adaptive stuff before we got hurt, and even during our injuries. And we knew zero about grants and things that could help us. But through our diligence and through us just asking for help, we found answers to those questions. So don't be afraid to ask.
Don't be afraid, baby.
And we really want to see you this weekend, though. This Abilities Expo is huge. It's all the new adaptive equipment that we just mentioned, as well as new stuff. We'll be down there. We'll have a booth with our sponsor,
Easy Stand. Come check it out.
Love to say hi to you guys, meet you guys in the flesh, in person.
Yeah.
So please come and visit us. It's at the convention center in LA. It's free, no admission. So why not?
Wheel World, we want to see you there. All
yes.
right. 2 p.m. Friday. Be there. Be square. All right, baby. We're always here to empower, entertain, and keep it wheel. All right. We'll see you next week.